Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Cassie. I talk about video games, do video game reviews, unboxings, and all sorts of other video game related topics. Today I want to go over my games completed for 2023. This is part 2. If you want to see part 1, just check the link in the description below. And yeah, come back to this when you're done. This is going to be numbers 24 through 46. I completed 46 games last year, so I decided I was going to split it off into 2 videos because I do go over each individual game a little bit and kind of talk about my thoughts on them, if I like them or not, and some highlights, whatever. Yeah, so I'm gonna go numbers 24 through 46 in this video and then talk about game clip a little bit like I always do, and then go over what I'm currently playing and where I'm at with those games. So number 24 was Power Wash Simulator. This game I played on Game Pass. It was kind of one of those games where I just was scrolling through and I needed something that was chill and relaxing because I was kind of like stressed out, kind of in a funk for a while. So that's the game I chose because it's, visually stimulating, I guess, or I don't know. It's pretty satisfying game. So, I mean, it's basically you just go around and you power wash houses and vehicles and stuff. There's missions and stuff. There's a whole campaign. And I put 56 hours into this game. It's pretty addictive. I really enjoyed my time with it. And I liked it enough to buy a physical copy on PlayStation 5. So, yeah, and it's published by Square Enix, by the way, which is weird. But, yeah, I liked it. So, check it out if you want. Number 25 was Dear Esther. I didn't care for this game at all. I thought it was not good. A lot of people really praise this game. It's a walking sim, and thankfully it's only like 2 hours long. Otherwise, I probably would have just dropped it altogether. I did also play their game, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, or whatever it is, and I did not like that one either. I dropped that one, so maybe I just don't like their games. I like Firewatch a lot. There's other walking sims I like, but yeah, that's not my cup of tea. Number 26, TOEM. This was a game on PlayStation 5. I don't know if it was on PS Plus or if I bought the game. I think it was really cheap or something. Somebody had suggested it after we played Rainbow Billy, and they said that it kind of like reminded them of it, which it does have a lot of similarities, which is odd because I think they came out around the same time, and there's not really any games like them besides them, kind of, in a way. I mean, they're completely different games, but like the style of it, some of it was very similar. It's black and white in this game, and you go around on missions and you take photos for other characters and stuff, and it's cute. I didn't like it as much as Rainbow Billy. I liked Rainbow Billy a lot, but yeah, I mean, they're completely different games, just have a lot of similarities. So, number 27 was Gradius. I played this on Switch Online on NES, and I really enjoy Gradius a lot. I'm kind of starting to think that I really like shmups, and I've not played a lot of them. I haven't really played a lot of older, like, NES or Super Nintendo games because I didn't get a console until I was 11, and I got a 64 instead, so I kind of only played NES and Super Nintendo, Genesis, and those when I went over to my friends' houses or cousins or whatever. So yeah, I'm kind of trying to go back to like some of these older games, and like Mario especially, and yeah, but Gradius is a fun game, so highly suggest that one. Number 28 is Somerville. This was from previous Playdead employees, which plays very similar to other Playdead games like Inside Limbo. It's just a side-scrolling adventure game where you're kind of platforming, and also there's like puzzles and obstacles in the way. You have to hide from enemies. You get chased by enemies. but this one's a little more colorful, and it's kind of like a science fiction. It's closer to, it has a lot of Close Encounters of the Third Kind and War of the World vibes, which is really cool. So I really like that. It got mixed reviews from a lot of people, but I enjoyed it. I don't think there's really any Playdead games that I don't like, to be quite honest. So number 29 was Dordogne. This was a game that came out last year, and it's all like watercolor. The art style is really interesting. You play as this girl who travels back to her grandmother's house after her grandmother passes, and she's trying to kind of recollect memories that she lost when something happened. And so you're kind of gathering things for this scrapbook that you're putting together, and it's cute. I didn't love it, but it's a cute game. Number 30 was Venba. I really liked this game a lot. This one was only like an hour and a half long, but it's about this family who moves from India to Canada, mother, father, and later on a son, and they're trying to kind of keep their culture. You know, they like get thrown into this, place where they don't feel like they kind of like fit in, and they have a really hard time, and it's like they go over all these struggles, and you just kind of go over like a 25 years of this family's life. But it's like a visual novel, but it's also a cooking simulator, because everything that they go through, they get through it with their food that they cook, basically. And so you'll have like ingredients and stuff, and you like see how things are made, and you have to like grab them and like, stir the pot. You've got to like chop the vegetables, get the spices, and like ground the spices, and it's really, really cool. I just wish that it was longer. That's the only thing I have against it. Number 31 was Lake. This game, I wasn't really sure what it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a walking sim, but it's a narrative adventure game where you play as this girl in 1986, and she goes back to her old hometown to kind of like house sit for her parents while they're away on vacation. Her dad is a mailman, so you take over his job for a few weeks while you're there. So you go around and you deliver mail and packages, and you also kind of just talk to the townspeople and gain relationships and stuff. So it's a pretty cool game. I like delivering mail. I liked it enough to play the DLC. I wouldn't say it's like a great game, but it's definitely worth trying. Number 32 was Abzu. This is a game by the people that made Journey. I actually like Abzu more, and I like Journey a lot. Journey's a great game, but Abzu is it's underwater, and you're this like scuba diver who kind of has like these powers to where you can kind of bring life back to the ocean. There's a lot of things that have happened, and it's all up to interpretation. There's no dialogue or anything, so it's just you can still kind of gather the story, just by playing it and going through. You can kind of understand what's going on, and it's a really, really colorful and just kind of a moving game. Honestly, like I really like the art style. I really like I kind of wanted to be a marine biologist for a long time, and I really love animals and wildlife and stuff, so I guess it kind of hit with me harder than Journey for that reason. So Abzu is worth playing. It was on PS Plus. I think it still is, so check that out. Number 33 is Final Fantasy XVI. I was super hyped for this game. I really liked 15 a lot. I'm one of the few that did. There's not really any Final Fantasies that I have not liked. I did, however, have a lot of issues with this game. I will not say that it is a bad game, because it's not. It's just, it had, you know, some amazing moments with the icon fights were amazing. The voice cast was really good. They did an incredible job. I think it's some of the best voice acting I've heard in a video game. It's very Game of Thrones like, which I like because I love Game of Thrones. And but some of the side quests were just so dull that it brought me down. Like every time I'd, you know, get to this epic battle with an icon, and then I'd get to right after that it'd be a whole bunch of side quests that would pop up. And I typically liked side quests, even though they're tedious and it's repetitive. Typically, these were just not enjoyable at all for me at all. The hunts were not fun. The combat was fine. I just don't think that it was as deep as it should have been. Like, I wanted more to the combat. And I know, like, yeah, you could use Turtle and, you know, there's combos and stuff. And I did those. And it didn't really, you know, after a while, it just felt the same over and over and over again. And I don't have a problem with it not being turn-based. It's just that I just wish there was more to the combat, more to the skill trees. Crafting was awful. It was terrible. Which is just kind of weird that the side quest and the crafting was terrible, considering that Yoshi P is the director over, or he works on, I think he's the director of Final Fantasy XIV Online, which is an MMO. So you would think with, you know, all of that knowledge and all of that experience that those things would have been better in this game. But I don't know. It just I don't know. I hope that 17 doesn't go down this like same route here. Yeah, I unfortunately with like the bad things, they kind of outweighed the good in some aspects, so I'd still put it at like an 8 out of 10. I know some people say that it's the best Final Fantasy, and I don't think that at all, but it's still not a bad game. Every Final Fantasy is different. I really appreciate that like every single one of them has a different kind of story. Every single one of them has different combat. I do want to make it an effort to like actually like go through each Final Fantasy game entirely. Not all over the course of this year, but I do want to at least play through like one or two of them, because I've only fully played through 10, 15, and 16 now, and I've played bits and pieces of pretty much all of them. I just have not fully gone through them. So yeah, it's not a bad game. A lot of people really like it, and I can understand why. I enjoyed a lot of my time with it, but I also didn't enjoy a lot of my time with it. So I'm very mixed on that one. Number 34 is Pikmin 4. I love Pikmin. You know what? I think Pikmin really gets overlooked a lot. Let's be honest here. I know that it's a real-time strategy game, and the original Pikmin games were incredibly hard. This one's a lot easier to pick up. The time management is a lot easier, so if you want to get started with Pikmin, I would start with Pikmin 4 and then go back to the older ones and try those. I love Pikmin when it was on GameCube. It's just such a great game. It's so colorful and it's so fun. This one, you're not actually playing as Olimar. You're going to you actually like create your own character, and you're trying to rescue Olimar and his whole like crew that crash landed. So there's a lot of people you've got to save in this one, and it's pretty cool because you also have a dog that helps you out, and he's really cute. So yeah, I really liked Pikmin. It was one of my top favorite games of last year, so definitely check it out and play through the old ones too. Number 35 was Tunic. This was on a lot of people's Game of the Years for 2022, I think. I think it was 22 when it came out. This game is so good, and there's not really... It's very much like a isometric Zelda, like the older school Zelda games, but with a fox, and it's a Souls-like. So, it's a Souls-like. I don't know. It's so incredible because it kind of throws you in, and you have no direction whatsoever, which is kind of a turnoff for some people. But what makes this game great is that as you progress through this game, you discover more things. You discover like pages to this manual, this digital manual that over time, and the more things you discover, puts more into this manual, and then you understand things, and you're like, oh, you kind of like put everything together. It's very cryptic, but as you open those things up, it's so satisfying to figure things out. And I really like this game. It's very hard, but it's an incredible game, so definitely check it out if you haven't. Number 36 was Inside. This is a Playdead game, and I really liked Inside a lot. It was very weird ending. If you haven't played Playdead games, they're just basically, like I had said with Somerville, they're just kind of like side-scrolling action platformer puzzle games where you kind of have to get away from enemies. You have to run, you have to hide, you have to move obstacles. There's puzzles that you have to do to get through the area. They're very satisfying. I really like playing them. I guess Little Nightmares is also very much like these as well. It's just more of a horror type game, and I like Little Nightmares as well. So yeah, check out these games if you haven't. Number 37 was Gris. I have heard a lot about this game for a long time, and then it came out on Game Pass. I know that it was like critically acclaimed and stuff, so I decided to play it. It's basically this game where it's kind of like a platformer, and you're going through, each level represents a color, which represents an emotion that this woman is going through after a loss. It's doesn't have any dialogue either. It's just all up to interpretation, but it's kind of like easy to like figure out, which, I mean, Gris is gray, so that's basically what it is. You're trying to get all these complete all the levels to kind of like collect all the colors, all the emotions of this woman, so she can kind of get through her grief. So it's a pretty cool game. It's very very heavy on like art, so it's more of a less of a gameplay, I guess. I mean, there's plenty of gameplay, but yeah, I like the game. I think it was cool. Number 38, New Super Lucky's Tale. This was on Game Pass. This is a 3D platformer, and it's actually really good platformer. It takes a lot of inspiration from Spyro, I can feel, but it also has like a lot of like other like mini games and stuff that are completely opposite. Some of the levels are actually 2D side-scrolling games too, so it switches it up a lot, which is really cool. I like it when games do that, because it kind of keeps things interesting. I definitely would suggest it. It's definitely not as good as like Spyro, Banjo, or any of those, but it is a fun platformer. Number 39 was Children of Morta. This was a game that got voted on for a game club, and I love this game. It's so good. It's a roguelite. The art style may turn off some people at first, but it's very, very good. I really enjoy it. Roguelites are difficult. A lot of people were kind of turned off by that, but it's supposed to be hard because you're supposed to die. You're supposed to get better as you go. And it just, I don't know, something about these games, I just love them. And maybe it's also because they're so random too, because roguelites are randomized typically. So each time you die, you come back in, it's never the same. And I like that because I don't really like repetitive things. Number 40 was Cocoon. This is an incredible game. Came out last year, and this is by previous Playdead employees, but it's completely different from other Playdead games. So this one is an isometric adventure puzzle game, and you're playing as this insect. I think it's a cicada, and you're going around, you're collecting orbs, and you pass orbs through like these portals and stuff to kind of get through the areas and beat the bosses, and it's so good. The audio, the sound design in this is freaking fantastic. It's some of the best audio design I've heard. Definitely check this one out. Number 41, I finally played this game, Celeste. I played it on Game Pass. I did turn down the difficulty at one point because I'm honestly, I'm not the best at platformers, probably because I started with 64, so I'm used to 3D platformers. I'm not really used to 2D side scrollers, or like, you know, I'm getting better, but I just kind of wanted to play through the game just to see what the fuss was about, but I didn't really, I don't know, I wasn't really into, like, I didn't have the patience for it. So it's a very hard game, so I just didn't really actually, like, I don't know. Some people would say, oh, you didn't really beat it if you didn't really play it on the, like, normal difficulty, but, you know, whatever. Number 42 was Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. I've played since the beginning, but I miss what it used to be, and Mirage went back to what it used to be. It's not as good as, like, Assassin's Creed 2 or, like, Brotherhood or, like, any of those, but it helped with some of the nostalgia for it, but in a more modernized version. You play as Bayek in this game. He's from Valhalla previously. I did not really get too far in Valhalla. I haven't really played a lot of the newer ones because they're too long. After I played Origins took me like 60 hours, and it was just way too long for an Assassin's Creed game, and they start to feel less like Assassin's Creed. So I had a good time with Mirage, but I'd still put it at like an 8 out of 10 because Bayek moves very slow in comparison to like Ezio or anybody else. Like, I feel like he just does not traverse all that well. That's my main gripe with this game. Otherwise, the story got a little confusing towards the end. I'm not really sure what exactly was going on, but yeah. It's a fun game, and I would suggest it. It's definitely pretty good. I liked it enough I could not put it down, so yeah. Number 43 was Jusant. This is by Don't Nod. They are the ones that made Life is Strange, but this is a completely different game. You're playing as this kid who is climbing, just trying to... It's like a world without water, and there's no more people left, and you're like the lone survivor, and you're climbing this mountain trying to get to the top, trying to find a way out, I guess, you know, or find answers. There's notes and stuff that are left around, so there's no narrative. It's just reading letters or notes if you want to kind of like get what's going on. But the traversal is very fun in this game. I do like climbing. There are parts that, you know, take me back to Shadow of the Colossus a little bit. There's nothing quite like Shadow of the Colossus. It's one of the best games ever made, and I wish we would get something else like it, or a sequel or something. But Jusant is a very fun game, and I think it got slept on because I didn't hear a lot of people talk about it being in their top games of last year. So Jusant and Cocoon were both very good indies from last year and Venba, that I would suggest. Number 44 was Oxenfree. This one had been raved about by a lot of people for a long time, and I just figured I'd check it out. And it's pretty cool. The only issue I had with Oxenfree was that there's all these like pop-up bubbles of people talking and stuff, and when you answer, sometimes you interrupt other characters and you don't like fully see it out, so that bothered me. But I guess it's kind of supposed to be like that, because if you interrupt them, but you only have so much time to respond, so it's like there's not a way around it, so that kind of bothered me. But I will play Oxenfree 2 at some point. I'm not going to do it yet, but I'll wait a little bit. I did like it, the supernatural vibe to it, and it was pretty cool. Number 45 was Mineko's Night Market. This one I had been really looking forward to for a long time. It's basically, you play as this girl and her father. You play as this girl, and her father moves to this town in the middle of nowhere, and she's kind of trying to get accustomed, and she decides that she's going to kind of sell things at this night market that's every Saturday. So you kind of go around and you collect items in the world, and you're also trying to, there's like these bad guys that are in the world that are trying to hunt down this kind of like this like godlike being, which is a cat. There's a lot of cats in this game, which I love cats. I'm a huge cat fan. My cat's name is Ellie, after Ellie in The Last of Us, and she's great. I rescued her as a kitten and bottle fed her, and yeah, I love cats, and so that was cool, I guess. Anyway, it's kind of like a game where you're just kind of, you're not farming things, but you're going around and you're collecting like flowers, and you go fishing, you collect fruits and vegetables, and you sell things at the night market. Then you like buy these collectibles and stuff, because all these people in this town like have requests for like gifts and stuff, so you want to go around and kind of give them the gifts that they're like looking for. It's not exactly like how I expected it to be. I was expecting something more closer to Moonlighter, but it's not that. But I did like have like, I don't know, I was addicted to it, even though like it has a lot of problems. I was super addicted. I could not put it down. Like, I played it in a few days, and I put like 30 something hours into it. So I did 100% this one. And if you're into those types of games, I would definitely suggest it, but it's, it does have issues, so be aware. And also the 100%, there's a glitch. So I got everything, and the last thing I got did not pop up when I got it, so it's still sitting at like 80%, but I fully got everything. So yeah, it's a known issue, so I don't know if they're gonna fix it or not. Number 46, the last game I completed last year, was Marvel Spider-Man 2. People can say what they want about this being like the same as the first Spider-Man and Miles, and it's definitely not. It's completely different, and like, I wouldn't say completely different, but it has really, Insomniac really like stepped it up with this game a lot, I think. There's a lot of extra side missions. I really like the story of this one. I liked all of the characters that like surprisingly popped up that I did not expect to see in this game. That I had not heard of since the 90s. Like, it's pretty cool, and there's a lot of kind of like Easter eggs from other things, and I'm not gonna spoil. I feel like everything for this game is a spoiler, so I don't know. I thought this game was incredible. It's my favorite game of last year, and I would highly suggest it. Definitely play the first Spider-Man and play Miles Morales before you play this one, because it's a very story-driven game and you're missing out a lot if you don't play those first. And I think I like Miles more than Peter now, so which is kind of odd, but I don't know. Miles is just a cooler character, I think, and Pete gets kind of annoying sometimes, but yeah, it is what it is. It did have a few issues, but I had a tremendous amount of glitches in the original Spider-Man in 2018. I did not have that with this one. There were some graphical problems with, I think, like, MJ looked a little weird and Pete looked weird at points, but yeah, I just had a really good time with this game, and the mini games were really fun too. Like, there were some that popped up that I did not expect at all. Like, you've got rhythm games in there and like all sorts of stuff, and it's just, I really enjoyed it a lot. So that's it for the games that I completed. And I'll talk about Game Club. Game Club is our Game of the Month club on Facebook. Right now we're playing Signalis. We're playing Tales of Zestiria for a Game of the Quarter as well, which goes through March. But it's basically, we play these games together as a group, and we're also voting for Game of the Month for February right now. That thread is up, but I will spin the wheel tomorrow morning, so be sure to get your votes in if you haven't already. And yeah, so that's it for Game Club. Check out the link in the description below if you want to join, and I'll accept. What I'm playing currently, I dropped Signalis. That was our Game Club game, but I dropped it last night. I just was not feeling it. Honestly, I don't think that I'm like super into survival horror. There are a few exceptions. Like, I really like Alien Isolation. I like some of the Resident Evil games. I like 4 and I like 7. I liked Until Dawn a lot. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not super into a lot of these, and Signalis, I gave it a chance, and it's not my thing. So it's an isometric horror game, so it's kind of like the older style, like Resident Evil, Silent Hill games, I guess, but it just wasn't my thing. I can see why people like it, but it's not for me. So I dropped that last night, and I picked up Titanfall 2. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm probably like almost halfway through already. It's a really short game. But yeah, I've never played it, and I haven't played any shooters for a while, so I was like, I guess I'll switch that out. So I'm also playing Chia right now. This is on PlayStation 5. It's an indie game that came out last year. I think, is it exclusive to PlayStation? I'm not sure. It might be. But yeah, it's really cool. A very like cultural game. Kind of reminds me of Wind Waker in some aspects, and it's pretty cool. Dave the Diver. Ooh, Dave the Diver. I'm excited. I said I'm excited. I am super addicted to this game. I've been playing it like almost every single night. I've put in like 30 something hours in like 2 weeks, and yeah, it's every single genre in one. I don't know what genre it doesn't include, but it's a bit of everything. And then I'm playing Valiant Hearts: The Great War. This one's a puzzle game, kind of like a narrative puzzle game, and it takes place during World War One. It's very interesting. The art style is very cool, and it's got a really good soundtrack, and I really enjoy this game a lot. So yeah, that's it. So I don't know what I'm going to do next. Probably talk about the developer direct, or talk about what games I'm looking forward to for this year. Kind of come up with a list for that. So yeah, until next time, I will see you guys next. I'll see you guys later. I'll see you next week, probably. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like this video. I'll talk to you later.